Hi y'all, good morning. It is time for me and you to catch some fish. It's actually past time because that sun is way up. We're getting a late start today. One of us slept in, me, so we're getting out here kind of late. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go after a variety of species, and we're gonna do two different techniques, both of which are very simple and easy to do, and both of which are very productive. So we're gonna start out, I launched the kayak right here at this boat ramp, and as I was driving up the road here to launch, I saw sporadic surface activity out here. We're probably at the tail end of it, as late a start as we're getting, but there was some sporadic schools of fish that I would assume are either white bass, largemouth bass, spotted bass, could be even some skipjack possibly. But we're gonna start out right here. I'm just gonna start trolling. We're gonna go down here by the dam, troll along the wall, and then go up this shoreline over here. And that shoreline's gonna be kind of still in the shade with the direction the sun's coming up, so we may find more activity over there possibly. But anyway, we're gonna troll for a little while. Then we're gonna switch over to the ultralight and just do some old-fashioned worm fishing for whatever bites. Again, two very simple, easy techniques that produce fish. So I'm gonna get us on the move here. I'm gonna put you all in the chest. I'm in my pedal kayak today, my Hobie Lynx, so we're keeping things very minimal, very simple today. This is kind of my lightweight grab and go kayak. I have a graph on it, just a little cheapo graph. We're not gonna turn it on. We don't need to for this style of fishing. But I'm gonna get us up to speed, and we're gonna throw out these lures behind us as we move along. So on this rod, I've got two jig heads. These are 1/8 ounce size jig heads with little white and chartreuse crappie magnets for the lures on there. That's 15-pound fluoro for the leader. That goes up to a swivel. And then we've got some 15-pound braid here on a medium heavy action Shimano bass rod and a little 3000 size Daiwa reel. And I'm just gonna cast this behind us, just a normal cast length. Not going a super long distance, just put out a little line, get it behind you. We'll stick that in the rod holder. Now we're gonna cast out our other line. Rod, reel, line, everything's the same except the lure's different. And this is a sumo spoon, which is a little curved piece of metal with a hook, and it just spins and flashes as we pull it through the water, and it acts like a fleeing bait fish. So we're gonna cast it out behind us, and we'll make a cast here with this. But then we're gonna have to let out some more line as we move along because, oh, there was a splash right there beside us. This lure here is very lightweight, so you can't cast it very far, so I've got to let out some extra line here now. But I'm just going to pedal us along at a casual pedaling speed, which should have us somewhere between 2 miles an hour and 3 miles an hour, which is ideal trolling speeds, if you will, if you ask me anyway. And we're going to make our way down and just go along the the edge of the wall. I get my words out. It may be later in the morning than what I wanted to start, but it's still too damn early for my brain to work apparently. But you know what I'm trying to say. We'll get down here, we'll turn, and we'll see sometimes there'll be fish kind of pushing bait up against that wall and trapping them. And we'll try to act like have our lures presented as a bait fish and fleeing along there and hopefully bust some stuff. And if this don't pan out, we'll just go right over the shoreline and start with the ultralight and start throwing some worms. So here's what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'm going to leave the camera rolling this morning. You all see everything from right now when we're putting lines out to when we roll out of here. You wouldn't believe this. You look around at the skyline, it is clear, beautiful out here right now. But allegedly, we have some rain and storms coming, as there's more activity right here. See, that's what I was talking about. Oh, that's skipjack. I saw him come completely out of the water. When I was driving up the road to get up here this morning, I saw some sporadic schools. So we're gonna just try to intercept some of those schools as we troll along here. And we'll do this for, I don't know, we'll give it 20, 30 minutes here of trolling and see how it goes. And if we're doing well with it, we'll keep doing it. And if not, we'll go do the ultralight. But anyway, I was trying to say before that fish distracted me, you look around at the skyline, man, it looks beautiful out here. It looks like a beautiful day. But according to the meteorologists, the weatherman, they don't like being called weatherman. That's insulting. They went to school for that crap, meteorologists. According to them, we've got some rain and storms coming here in the next 2 or 3 hours, mid-morning here. So we'll see if something blows in, but right now it looks perfect out here. So we'll make the most of it with the time we got. It is what it is. If it rains on us, we'll head to the car. If it don't rain on us, I'll probably still head to the car after a couple hours or so, because I'd only planned on fishing that long this morning because of the weather forecast. But anyway, I'm gonna put y'all in the chest. I'm gonna bring y'all along on a real fishing trip. You'll see everything from right now until we roll out, and whatever happens out here, we'll bring you along with it. Any fish caught, any snags, any shenanigans that happen, you just never know what's gonna go on these trips, man. Sometimes we get on good fish, sometimes we get on a bunch of small fish, sometimes crazy stuff just happens. You just never know what's gonna happen on these videos, but I'll promise you this, if you're seeing it, if this video got posted, we got on them. I don't know how many, what species, at what point in the day in the video here it happened, but if you're seeing this, if this video sees the light of day, something went well for us out here. It ended up being a productive trip. So, like I said, I just want to start out trolling. Oftentimes in the summer months here, we're in July, it's hotter than damn it. By about 10 o'clock, you can't hardly stand to be out here anymore. But right at first light, for the first hour or two, it seems like especially on the lower end of the reservoirs, I'm on Melton Hill today, you'll see surface activity. White bass, schools of largemouth, occasionally schools of skipjack, although I ain't seen many of them the last couple years. But you'll see them chasing shad on the lower ends of these reservoirs this time of year, and they'll just be out here oftentimes in the middle of the dang reservoir, man. They'll just be out because they'll have schools of bait that they're following and chasing, and those schools of bait, they're running from the predator fish, so they could end up anywhere, and you'll just see them sporadically pop up, schools of fish busting the surface. Like right over here, I see them little flips on the surface here. That's baby tiny shad, little shad fry. There's a whole pile of them kind of pushed over here in this corner. And what we're doing is we're trolling along these schools like this that are randomly out here. As we're trolling, our lures are representing individual bait fish that have gotten separated from their school. And that's when they're vulnerable. I've told this story before here on these type of videos, but for those of you new, I'll tell it again. Be a rerun for everybody else. But you all have heard the saying, safety in numbers, right? We've heard that our whole life. And there's truth to that when it comes to the shad. When they are in a big school and a predator fish comes up, it is hard for the predator fish to key in on any one individual shad when they're in a school of a few hundred or 1,000 or more. So what they'll oftentimes do is you'll have a predator fish, and if you have live scope at all, you'll see this happen sometimes. But you'll have a predator fish, swim into that school of shad and try to break them up. And when individual shad or like a smaller cluster of them get separated from the bigger school, that's when they're vulnerable. That's when it's more easy for a predator fish to key in on them and be able to eat them. So when we're trolling along like this, we're just kind of trolling at random out through here. But our lures, as they move along, they kind of look like little bait fish, little shad that have been separated from a school. Our lures are moving along at a faster pace, especially our spoon over there that's acting all erratic. And it looks like a little bait fish that's gotten separated from the school. It's scared, it's fleeing, it's acting erratically. draws the attention of the bait fish or the predator fish, and boom, they got a meal, an easy meal. So that's what we're trying to represent out here. Now, will it pan out this morning? I don't know, we'll see. I'm not seeing a ton of activity at the moment, but I did see a few sporadic schools driving up here. We saw that skipjack completely breach the surface over there beside us a little while ago. So, we'll see how it goes. Oftentimes though, summer months, just before sunrise to an hour or so afterwards, and then too, like if you can find your way in a situation like we're about to be in over here, where the sun is up, but you've got this shade because of the direction, this hillside here kind of is blocking the sun, you got a little bit of shade. Sometimes that bite will extend a little later in the morning if you can find some shaded areas. So we'll make our way along over here in this area too and see what happens. And like I said, we're going to do this for a little while, and if we get bit and keep getting bit, we'll do it a little longer. But if not, I've got us some under my seat here somewhere. I've got us some wanglers, worms for anglers, live, natural, juicy red worms. And we'll bust out the ultralight and catch us a gazillion fish along the shoreline. We'll just beat the banks and throw up everything, overhanging trees and tree branches that have fallen into the water and all that, and we'll have us a grand old time. I've really been in the mood for some ultralight fishing lately. I've been doing all this catfishing, and I got that other new kayak, so I had to film some stuff in it and needed some catfish videos in it. So it's kind of put the ultralight fishing and the carp fishing on the back burner a little bit, but I'm needing to do a little of both. And today's the day for the ultralight, because the weather forecast has some rain and storms moving in here mid-morning. And I thought, well, today would be a prime day to do some ultralight fishing, because I can get out and fish for a couple hours, catch a bunch of fish during that time, have some fun, and then we can beat the storms out of here. But right now, there's barely a cloud in the sky, so I don't know. If it blows in, it's gonna blow in quick, I guess. We got a boat up here cutting across the channel. I don't know if they're heading the same way. It looks like they're heading the same way we are, so we may make a lap, and there's plenty of room for everybody, I don't need to. Of course, it looks like there's more activity going on further upriver there. Could this be the angle I'm looking at, but it looks like more surface stuff happening way on up there. So I'd kind of like keep going the way we are, but I really don't want to interact with anybody today other than you all on this video. Have an actual human conversation. The thought of it just repulses me today. I woke up very antisocial, as I do most mornings, but especially today. That was a buffalo that popped up his head up right there. I wonder if they're heading toward the shore. I'd like to work this shaded area, but we could just go around them on the backside, maybe loop around by the campground over there and go around the other way. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just kind of sitting in the middle of the lake. It don't look like they're trolling. They're just kind of, you never know with people. Who knows what anybody does anymore. I know what me and you are doing, though. We're going to have some fun today and catch us some fish. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to get us on something today. I'll promise you that. The ultralight's pretty much guaranteed. With the trolling here, we need fish to be up near the top of the water surface, because our lures are running, that spoon is running just under the surface. These jigs are, because they were on the jig heads, they're a little bit deeper, but not much. Moving at these speeds, you're in the top 3 to 5 feet of the water column with the distance of line we have out. But in trolling situations like this, if you've got fish feeding up near the surface, it can be very productive. But what is almost always productive, and especially this time of year when it's warm and there's a bunch of fish in the shallows, is just beating the banks with ultralight, small jig head, a natural live bait like a worm or cricket or minnow or whatever, whatever you want to throw. Very productive. And we will for sure whack some fish with those worms. But I'm seeing enough just looking ahead up here. I'm seeing enough activity. I'd like to stay on the troll for a little bit longer here. But anyhow, y'all, like I said, I've been fishing out of that new kayak, the Old Town Sportsman 120 Pro. I'm back in my Hobie Lynx today. This is my lighter weight grab and go kayak, if you will. The Old Town is, gosh, I think it's like 102 pounds, 106 pounds with the seat in it, which, for those of you who've been following along, like I said, when that company reached out, the contact person I had told me that kayak was going to be lightweight and different than anything they'd ever done before. It's a very nice kayak. I like it. I think it's going to replace my Hobie Pro Angler as like my big kayak, my tournament rig. But it for sure ain't lightweight. Like you need a trailer with it for sure, especially once you add on the motor and graph and batteries and all that crap. Like it needs a trailer to haul it, or else you're going to break your back and make fishing miserable. This thing here, the whole weight on this kayak's 47 pounds. You throw in the seat and the pedals, you're at 65 pounds. It's easily manageable to just throw it in the back of the truck and drop it off on the side of the riverbank, or in today's case, right here at the boat ramp. Whatever's convenient, but it don't require a trailer, or doesn't require a back brace, anything like that. And honestly, this paddleboard style hull, I just find it more fun to fish out of. I enjoy it. So this is still going to be my primary kayak, but the other one will replace my Hobie Pro Angler. And since it's been a little while since I've been in this kayak, I wanted to get back out here in it today. So we'll have us a little fun ultralighting and trolling in this today, and keep things simple. The other rig, I mean, I've got that motor on it. They sent me that Minn Kota Tarova bow mount and the Humminbird Explorer 9 fish finder. There's a school of something right up there in front of us. You see them busting? I think that might be bass, because they're not breaching the surface like the skipjack. You'll see them come completely out of the water like we saw that one earlier, but those look like just popping the surface there. So I would assume those are bass of some sort, whether it's white bass or largemouth or spotted bass potentially. But that other setup, man, the Old Town, the Minn Kota, the Humminbird, everything linked together. When I fished yesterday, which should have been the last video there for regular viewers, man, we used that follow the contour feature where, because I've linked the motor to the graph with that cord, it'll just, you pick the contour you want to follow and it'll drive for you and you just fish. I mean, that's some high-tech technology and a very, very helpful tool, very beneficial tool. We didn't catch anything big yesterday, but boy, we caught a bunch. And it was effortless on my part because I didn't have to try to keep the kayak in position at all. Like, it just drove for me. So it's nice to have those tools, but at the same time, there's still part of me that just loves the simplicity of a setup like this. Lightweight, rigged as minimal as possible. Like, we've got my DIY camera mount up there, 2 rod holders, and a couple cup holders here. One cup holder I mainly just use for tools and to have my graph on, which we don't even have turned on. Oh, there's a fish on the spoon. Fish number 1. Yeah, it feels like a white bass. Let's keep us pedaling here and keep that other line from getting wrapped up in us. Yeah, he's not coming up and jumping. It's got to be a white bass. These things pull hard though. There it goes. Yeah, oh, nice one too. Very nice. Very nice, y'all. Check this out. Now, that's a good one. On the spoon right there. Got him on the sumo spoon. These things catch a variety of fish. There he is, y'all. Oh, look right here. There's some more. We'll get him going. There's some more right over here beside us. I've got that line wrapped around everything. Y'all sabotage me. Look at that. Dadgummit. I could have made a cast right there, but y'all have got my line wrapped around. Look at that. They're right here beside us. Get this dang line. Get that line unwrapped. There you go. Lordy days. Hell, I could have been making some cast right here. It's still wrapped up. There we go. Again, you can't cast the spoon very far unless you put a sinker or something in front of it. And I didn't want to do that because then it runs too deep when we're trolling. They're over here on this side now. Let's make a caster. So while we're sitting here with them busting around us, and then we'll get back on the troll when they're gone. Because they're not staying in one spot, man. They're chasing that shad. They're on the move. At least we got fish number 1. That was a nice white bass. I threw him back. I'm not keeping any today. If I was going to be catfishing in the next day or two, I would have brought a cooler and we would have kept any white bass, or if we get lucky, a skipjack. But tomorrow I've got stuff to do. I've got, well, I don't really have anything to do, honestly, but I have to be home because there's stuff to be done. My house is getting some new insulation put in tomorrow, and they need access to my attic. So I got to be, let's get back on the move. I've got to be there at home because you don't want people, random people you don't know in your house, you know, to get up there in the attic space without you being there and keeping an eye on stuff. So that's going to tie up my day tomorrow, and then the day after, them damn meteorologists, you know how they are, but they're claiming we're going to have some rain and storms and stuff. So I was like, whatever we get today, we're just going to throw back. We just doing a little fun fishing today. I want to reel this one in, our jig heads, and check them. Since we were kind of sitting there, they may have made their way down to the bottom and picked up some leaves or debris or something. So I just want to make sure our hooks are still clean on this, and then, yeah, everything looks good. Let's cast it back out. And now let's get back on the move. We'll just cover some water going up through here. And again, our speed, I'm not monitoring it with the graph, but I know just casual pedaling speed, we're going to be somewhere 2 miles an hour, 2.5, 3 miles an hour. It's not an exact science. You don't have to, with this style of fishing here, we don't have to dial in a exact speed, because you think about it, these schools of shad, their speed's going to fluctuate, right? They might be moving real slow, predator fish comes up, they bolt and dart, their speed's going to be erratic. It's going to change. So our pedaling cadence here is going to change as I get distracted talking, or something goes on, or we get a fish bite, whatever, you know, we're going to fluctuate as we move along here too. So it's not an exact science with this. I think speed is way more important when it comes to things like trolling for catfish or trolling for crappie, where you're trying to go slow. In most of those situations anyway. I think speed is more important for that technique as far as dialing in a certain range of speed, but for this, a wide range works well. But yeah, anyway, the other kayak, it's fancy and all the gadgets and whatnot, and as a person who, it's human nature to feel compelled to keep up with the Joneses. It's nice having those things, those fancy gadgets and technology features that allow you to fish more easily. But there's still part of me that just is drawn to things that are simple. In a setup like this that's lightweight and rigged as minimal as possible, and we come out on a day like today with no electronics at all. I have a little electric motor for this kayak. I'm not using it today. We're just pedaling. We're just human power today, if you will. There's something special about it. At least there is for me. It's not for everybody. If you're somebody, if you want the latest and greatest of technology and yada, 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 more power to you, man. I'm not telling you what to do or how to fish or how to live your life. Do what you do. Do what you love. We all have limited time on this earth, so do what makes you happy, right? But for me, most of my time, I want to be kind of keeping things minimal, simple. So this kayak, even though I've been the last few trips in that new kayak, and my next catfishing trip, I'm going to be in it. Like we're going to put that kayak through its paces and make sure it gets the promotion that's adequate for them sending me that thing. Once we're done with that, we'll get back to this being the primary kayak unless I find something that I like better to replace it. This is still my favorite kayak that I've ever had. Now, it's got its limitations, of course. This Hobie Lynx is not very durable, and I've babied this thing. I've been very careful with it, but I've had it less than 2 years, and I've got 4 holes that I've had to patch in this thing. So, like, you take my Hobie Pro Angler, it's almost 10 years old. I bought it, well, it's a 2017 model that I bought in 2019. That's been kind of my bigger kayak tournament rig the last several years. That thing, it's got its bumps and bruises at this point, but the hull is still in pretty good shape overall. We've gotten a lot of use out of that thing, and I have not babied that kayak at all. Whereas this one, I've not even had it 2 years, and I've beat the hell out of it and really tried to be as gentle as possible with it during that time. So it's one of those things you got to make sacrifices, right? There's trade-offs. To have this light weight that makes it easy for your back and easy for transport, well, you got to sacrifice some durability. Whereas you take something like this new Old Town kayak we got, that thing, I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know if we'll still have it in 10 years, but it'll still be functional in 10 years, barring some kind of like car accident or something crazy happening, because it's bigger, thicker plastic that's made for the long term. So, but what does that come at the expense of? Weight. If you're going to have all that extra plastic to make it more durable, it's going to add on the pounds. So then it becomes harder on your back and more difficult to transport. You're probably going to want a trailer to haul it with, especially if you're adding on a motor and batteries and graphs and all that stuff. So for me, I've told you all this over the last few months, like when this YouTube thing kind of got going for me, I felt compelled to, I think we've picked up a leaf or something here on our spoon. It wasn't, the rod tip wasn't looking right. I think it come off, but I'm gonna go ahead and reel it in, check it and see. You should see your rod tip just vibrating a little bit when you're running a spoon. Yeah, we picked up some algae, moss. We picked up a little something. Get rid of that. There's some kind of surface clutter out here on the water this morning. But the last few months I've been telling you, like, when YouTube kind of got going for me, I felt compelled to try to put out as much content as possible. And when that's the goal, naturally you're going to lean toward the kayak or type of kayak that's going to allow you the most gadgets, all those fancy tools that's going to help you catch fish easier, a bigger kayak that you can put more gear in, right? Like, that's what you're going to do. But here's the problem with that. Yes, it helped me get more content the last few years, but it took away from the kayak fishing experience. Because to me, when you're in a kayak that's big and wide and just super stable, that's more like fishing out of a boat than a kayak. And I'm one of those strange weirdos that actually enjoys fishing out of a kayak. I always have. That's what got me in. I had a boat before I ever got a kayak. And I started kayak fishing. I'm like, well, hell, I don't need this boat anymore. I'm never using it. It's just sitting on a carport collecting dust. So I sold it. But now, everybody that's getting into kayak fishing, they want the most stable kayak possible. And so these companies keep making them bigger and wider and more stable. And it takes away from that experience a little bit. So this year, it was kind of like, I want to get back to fishing for me, like how I like it. And whatever happens with the content happens. Like, I wanted to kind of make a run at it, especially through the winter and early spring, and see, before we get into the peak view season, which is now, every year, my channel peaks in like June, July, August time period. That's when most people are searching fishing content. That's when most people are searching specifically kayak fishing content. So my channel always does the best this time of year, and then it falls off in the fall and down through the winter, and it'll pick back up in spring again. It's predictable every year. It's like the seasons, this is a seasonal activity as far as social media goes, even though people like me and you will do it year round. But anyway, I wanted to see, like, through the difficult times of the year, which for me is winter, could I get enough content to sustain this business in a simple, basic setup like this? And I proved to myself this past winter and early spring time period that I could. And so, for me now, it's mostly going to be about doing what I want to do, how I want to do it. But when an opportunity comes along, like this deal with Old Town and them sending me that kayak and whatnot to feature on my channel, well, hell yeah, I'm going to take it. Absolutely. Because I do want a bigger kayak for some situations. Tournaments, or days where I want to go fishing, but maybe the wind is up a little too much, or we know the wind is going to be up a little too much at some point in our trip and things are going to get choppy and rougher water and whatnot. Like, you want a bigger kayak for those situations if you can. So it's nice to have that, and so sure, I'm gonna take that opportunity. Just like the other kayak that's coming here soon, the inflatable we're supposed to get. Now I'll say this, the new inflatable that we're getting from that company called Ventral, it does have potential to replace this Hobie Lynx if it works out. Now, I got a lot of questions about it. It may be total trash once we get it, but it's something would be comparable to the whole design of this, the paddleboard style, which I think is the most fun platform to catch fish off of. It would be even lighter weight than this. So it comes down, will it be more durable? And you would think, being inflatable, probably not, right? But then you think about, like, well, this Lynx, I've got 4 holes in it in less than 2 years that I've had to patch. Will the inflatable be any worse than that? And how difficult will the inflatable be to repair? Because this, I will say this about the Lynx. It sucks. Anytime you get a hole in the kayak, it sucks. But because this thing's foam filled, when I have gotten holes in it, there's no risk of sinking or taking on water. That's not a big deal. And it's easy to fix it. There's something, material, I don't know how you say it, Solar Res or Solar Ease, that's what Hobie recommends for it. But it's like this epoxy gel. You lather it over the hole, it hardens in like 2 minutes in the sun, and you're good to go again. And so I've done that on them holes, and I put some like fiberglass patches over the Solar Res, and cosmetically it doesn't look very good on the bottom anyway, but it's functional. It's good as new. So it's an easy repair. It just sucks that you have to repair. You know what I mean? Like that's the part that sucks. Like I feel like you shouldn't have to, especially for what something like this costs. Now I bought this one used, so I saved several $100s, but like if you bought a new one at the shop, you know, you're gonna pay out the ass for these things. You want them to last. And this kayak, look, I mean, this kayak wasn't designed for me or for somebody that fishes as much as me and is launching in the places I'm launching. Like this is for the casual person that's gonna go out a few times a year, or maybe at the beach or something. Like it's not made to be a hardcore fishing platform used all the time, okay? So I'm using it in a way that's not how it's meant to be. But still, like, we've picked up something here. Here's what I think let's do, y'all. The troll here's only produced one white bass in, well, 30 minutes now, a little over 30 minutes, according to the camera timer. We've seen a few sporadic schools on the way up through here, but it's not very widespread. I say let's reel this crap up. Let's get over here on the shoreline, and we'll just start fishing our way back toward the car with the ultralight and see what we can pick off, because I'm ready to catch some fish, man. If we were whacking them here on the troll, I'd be happy to do it. I like trolling. A lot of people kind of frown upon it, I think, because it's so easy. Yeah, we'd picked up another weed on that too. There's a lot of just this crap on the water today. Hard to catch a fish when you're dragging vegetation along with the lure. But I want to catch some fish, man. And I'm one of those people. I want to catch fish as easily as possible versus doing stuff that's super complicated or technical. Some people kind of, like musky fishermen are like this. They'll go out and fish all damn day, throwing these giant lures that they have to work methodically and do these figure-8 routines at the boat every time they get their lure back to ready to be casted again. And they will do that all day to try to get one bite. And they will feel a huge feeling of success when they get that bite, right? More power to them. That's not me. I can't do that, folks. I want something that's easy, requires minimal effort, and produces lots of fish. That's why I catfish the way I do. That's why I ultralight fish the way I do. That's why I spend so much time when I'm out bait fishing, trolling. I like things that are simple and easy. And right here, another simple, easy setup. We got a 1/64 ounce jig head. That little red worm mare's flopping around every which way. He's gonna catch us something real fast, I just know it. We got 2-pound test line, my St. Croix Panfish Series rod that I've had forever. And this reel, new to me here, this is a Shimano Vanquish 1000. One of my channel members was kind enough to send me this. Very high dollar, expensive reel, nicest reel I've ever owned. So again, shout out to Aaron, one of my channel members down there in Texas. Hooked me up with that. I'm very grateful. We're gonna listen to that thing's drag sing here in a minute when we find a willing fish over here on the shoreline. We'll make some casts. We'll just work our way back toward the car. That way, if these storms do blow in here in the next hour or two, whenever, we'll be at least closer to the car. But right now, I don't see anything to suggest that bad weather's coming. But them dang meteorologists, as one of them told me one time, they went to school for this. So I need to show them some damn respect. Boy, that guy was mad at me. All I did, I just referred to him as the weatherman. That was all, the weatherman. They don't like being called a weatherman. Because when I was growing up, this is what's so frustrating about society. Let's go on a little rant about that. We're making our way through society, living our life, growing up from being a kid to teenager to adult, etc., etc. And you periodically will have these changes in the culture where what you used to do is suddenly frowned upon. So, an example here with the meteorologist deal. Oh, I got hit. I felt him thump it. It ain't gonna be a very big fish though, not for the thump. He thumped it hard. A little old bluegill, but hey, we'll take it, man. Come here, bluegill. You got anything to say for yourself? You got anybody you want to shout out on this video? First one caught on the ultralight here. You're missing your chance, bluegill, all right. I gave you an opportunity. Don't say I never give you nothing. But when I was a kid growing up, Margie Eisen was on the local news, Channel 10 News. And she later went to Channel 6. She was a weather lady. Fish. Oh, I lost him. He didn't get the worm though. But she was not a meteorologist. She didn't go to school for that crap. I don't think she knew how to read a Doppler radar. She had a board on the TV set there. We got another one reeling in. But it would have all of the East Tennessee counties there, a little diagram. And if it was going to be sunny, you know what she'd do? She'd put a little, we'd probably call it an emoji today, but back in those days, it was like a magnet or a sticker. She would put that over your county and be like, Loudoun County, Tennessee, going to be sunny tomorrow, and she'd have a little sun. Or maybe the next day it's going to rain. She'd have a little rain cloud. Be like, Knoxville, Tennessee, you're going to have some rain tomorrow. She didn't have no fancy meteorology degree, folks. She was a weather lady. If it was going to be sunny or going to be raining, she'd let us know with that sticker on the diagram. There's, we got another fish we let go. That's what she would do. And you know what her forecasts were? They were just as accurate or more accurate than these fancy meteorologists today that's got their Doppler radar technology. So I grew up having watched Margie Eisen, who was a weather lady. I would just refer to people on TV giving weather reports as a weatherman or a weather lady. It wasn't insulting. It wasn't meant to be disrespectful. That's just what we called them. That's what they had been known as my entire life. It was not meant as any kind of slur or any kind of like way to degrade them as a profession. It wasn't like that. I'm gonna get us another worm on here right quick. But at some point in time in our culture, things changed. And now you call somebody a weatherman or a weather lady, you are insulting them. They want to be referred to as a meteorologist. And look, I don't give a crap. I'll call you whatever you want to be called. You want to be called Bob, I'll call you Bob. I'll call you anything but Toby because I hate that name Toby. And boy, I pissed somebody off the other day about the whole Toby thing too. His name wasn't even Toby either. But y'all know I hate that name. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I hate the name Toby. Toby or Tobias. It's about the worst thing you can do when your kid is born. When your kid pops out the womb and you tell the hospital staff, I want to name this kid Toby. It should be considered child abuse. That's the worst. I mean, as soon as your kid pops out the womb, you're setting him up for failure by naming him such a stupid name. I hate the name Toby. Anywho, back to the meteorologist deal. Like, at some point in time in our culture, I can't pinpoint exactly when it was, but it became offensive to say weatherman or weather lady. It was clearly after Margie Ison retired because, oh, fish. That's another one that hit it hard, but ain't gonna be very big. We've caught several right here in this little pocket though. We're just gonna work our way down the shoreline here back to the car. See you, bluegill. Fish that size is fun on the ultralight. But anyhow, it's offensive now to call somebody a weatherman or weather lady. And now, and when I've done that in the past, like it was a few years ago, but at that point in time, I didn't realize that I was being offensive. And I got educated by a meteorologist because he went to school for that and wanted to be treated as such, treated with the respect he deserved for his college degree. But in my mind, as I'm reading his essay that he wrote, because he was offended by me saying weatherman, I'm like, well, Margie Ison, she didn't have no meteorology degree. She didn't have no Doppler radar, because I mean, this was back a long time ago. But her forecasts were just as good or better than these meteorologists today. So, you know, it is what it is, but we see that all the time now. And that's one of the things I don't get about our culture. Like, why? You know, I get it. If it's something, if it's like a racial slur or a derogatory slur, I get it. You know, I totally get being offended by that. But if it's just something that over the course of time, some profession or group of people or whatever decided, you know what, we don't want to be called this anymore. Even though it's not offensive, it's not meant in a derogatory way. We just want to be known as something different. Oh, we got a fish on and he's around this limb down here. I see the limb. Oh, is he wrapped up in it? I'm gonna stand up here, y'all. Can you see that limb down there? He may have come off and put our jig down. No, I think he's still on there. He ain't on there now. I broke him off. Let's back up a smidge and tie on a new jig head. The joys of doing an unedited video end when it's time to tie on a new jig head. Nobody wants to watch that crap. But you're about to subject yourself to it because we're going to have to. We can't catch them with just line alone. It's normally a quick process here though, because I keep if I can get in my pocket, I keep me a little box of jig heads here ready to roll. Looks like I need to add a few more of the 1/64 ounce size because we're getting a little low. Y'all remind me to do that when I get home today. That happened on a catfish trip recently. I broke off and went to get me a new leader out of my bag, and surprise, I was out of leaders. Let's try to thread this line through here. I feel like I'm seeing a little better than I normally see today. Maybe it's the lighting. Sometimes I have a really hard time threading that line through the jig head, but today I feel like I'm seeing it pretty good. But I don't understand, like, it'd be like me being let's say a catfisherman, and all of a sudden one day we've referred to each other as catfishermen our whole lives, and one day we're just like, you know what? We're not catfishermen anymore. It's offensive if you call us catfishermen. And it's like, why? Well, why is that? The term catfisherman wasn't ever really an offensive thing anyway, unless you're a bass fisherman or a crappie fisherman. You don't like the fact we use your fish for bait. But there was nothing offensive about the term catfisherman. Just because you want to be called something different don't mean that people like me that don't give a crap about what you want to be called now, like, we're not the bad guy here. You are, for wanting to change everybody else. Everybody shouldn't have to change and to accommodate somebody else that just chose to be offended. Being offended is a choice. Again, there's exceptions to this. Like, did I throw that worm off? The hell, I sure as hell did. Dadgummit. Y'all, I swear, you all broke that worm so that I would cast it off there and make a fool of myself. Y'all sabotage me. You do it every trip. But being offended is a choice for the most part. Unless somebody is just being really rude and trying to say hurtful, derogatory things, like, just don't be offended. Like, and I'll tell you this story about the Toby, right? Like, I hate the name Toby. And I've never met an actual Toby in person that I liked either. But if your name is not Toby, or you haven't named your kid Toby, why the hell would you be offended by the fact that I don't like that name? You know, I mean, you may not have a problem with the name Toby, or people name that, but maybe you don't like an ice cream sundae, and I do like an ice cream sundae. Should I hate you because I like something and you don't? No, it's stupid. But by God, I got one mad at me. He wrote me a paragraph on the Facebook the other day, which that's about the only platform left I post on that people can still comment on, and I wish they couldn't. I can't figure out how to turn it off on there. But he was mad. He claimed, anyway, he had been watching my videos for years, but he heard me talk negatively about the name Toby the other day, and now he's done with me. And in my mind, I'm like, of all the shit I've said, that's what pisses you off? Like, of all the stuff that I've went on about, the stories I've told and things that's happened in life and whatnot that we get on these long unedited videos. I'm gonna move us around this tree here. Like, that's what pisses you off? Like, that's what offended you? And I don't know what he was, I'm always, every time somebody does that, I'm always like, what, are we working at an airport here? You're announcing your departure? Like, hit the road. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Like, my subscriber count goes up every single day. If you didn't tell me you were leaving, I wouldn't even notice you were gone because you would have been replaced already. Like, I don't get people like that. Like, if you're offended, move along. There's 8 billion other YouTubers with way different personalities. Like, everybody's got their own way of doing things. Go find somebody that suits your needs. I've never understood this concept of, and it's an internet thing, because you see it on the internet all the time. People do this, but like, they want to try to complain to the person who's upset them to try to get them to change, or to try to get them to kiss their ass and beg them to stay. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Look, if this guy, if he's so damn easily offended that me talking about how the name Toby irritates me, he's not somebody I would want to be around in real life anyway. He's not somebody I would want to interact with. In fact, I don't think he's somebody that anybody would want to interact with, really, if you get down to it. But like, I don't care if he leaves or watches the videos. I really don't care. I don't want to be pestered. The minimal gain that I would get on my channel from him watching isn't worth the hassle. It's it doesn't offset him being a pain in the ass type person. So it ain't worth it to me. Look at all them little minnows busting right there running as we reel in this fish. They thought they was got, man. They thought something was coming after them. You scared the far out of them shads over there, bluegill. He's putting on a show here. Get on out. He unhooked himself and took part of the worm with him in the process from the looks of things here. Get us a new Wangler here. Natural, fat, juicy red worms. I like these better than the other red worms that you get at Walmart because these don't have to be refrigerated. And sometimes during the summer months here when it's hot, if I've been out fishing and I don't make it home immediately, maybe I got a stop or two to make before I get home, sometimes them worms will get too hot in your car and end up dying off. Whereas these, they do just fine. But Walmart don't always have, at least my Walmart anyway, they don't always have these. I guess the worm distribution at Walmart's as bad as the action figures. Walmart's distribution on, man, and y'all don't care about this. Y'all don't care about this one bit. I should just talk about fishing, stay in my lane. But we're gonna talk about some action figures today. Specifically the WWE Superstars, which is a Walmart exclusive. And I hate that they're Walmart exclusive because Walmart never stocks them. Right now, I just got Series 16. My wife found them a couple weeks ago. She had went home to visit her parents and stopped in the Walmart by their house, and they were there on the shelf, just been put out. Those figures, though, were released last year. A year later, Walmart finally puts them in the store. That was Series 16. Series 17 and 18 have also been out for a long time, allegedly. They're nowhere to be found. Now, some people online, I've seen some Facebook posts, they have found Series 18 on the SummerSlam displays at Walmart. It's like a center aisle cardboard display. They're putting some figures out. And they are finding Series 18 on those. I haven't found them, but supposedly they're out. But where the hell's Series 17? Nobody's found them out in the wild yet. So they're in a warehouse somewhere, I guess. What are these kayakers doing over here? Are they gonna come over here and cut right in front of us and go to the shoreline? Y'all, God, I just cannot avoid talking to people today. They're coming right at us. You'd think they would have went around on this other side so they wouldn't interfere with us fishing, but I guess they're going to be rude. Damn kayakers, that's what I always hear. I hear that all the time. Are you going this way or that way?
I'm going to go to your right.
This way?
Yes.
All right. I'll go around you. I was trying to fish this, but whatever.
Well, the fish seem to be jumping. Are they biting?
Well, I've been catching a few,
Well, that's good.
but yeah. Have a good one.
You too.
I was trying to be a little bit of a jerk right there, but I don't know that they picked up on it. They were actually being a jerk too, but I don't think they realized it. That's one of them situations where you've got people just, oh, there's a fish. Just oblivious to the world around them. Pretty nice bluegill right there. We catch some big ones in here. I've caught bunches over 8 inches before. We ain't had any that big today thus far, but this one here, not too shabby. There he is. Let's fix our worm. We'll try to get another fish out of this worm here if we can. Just stick that on there. Well, it's all wrapped up in the line. Well, hell, let's just switch the thing out. We got plenty more here. This is a brand new fresh tub. You know what it was, folks, is I was talking about the name Toby, which is one of them things that, you know, we all got things we don't like, and I hate the name Toby. I was talking about that, and that had me in some kind of mood, and then them old women come up and can't figure out what direction they want to go between me and the shoreline here, and it caused me to be a little bit snappy to them, but thankfully it's okay. I don't feel bad about getting snappy with them because I don't think they realized I was getting snappy with them. I guess it's okay to be mean to people if they don't realize you're being mean. Oh, I had one hit me. That other boat that was down here, they moved on too while we was going around the old ladies and stuff. So we should be able, unless, well, by God, whatever hit me, he took the worm. Unless somebody else launches and comes over here, we should have the rest of the shoreline down through here to ourselves. There's just a worm. These in here, these worms today, buddy, they're lively. I'll give them that. They're getting the attention of some fish. This type of fishing here, man, it's, like I said earlier, I like things that are simple and easy, and it don't get much easier than casting out a worm on a jig head, letting it just sink down to the bottom and either getting hit on the way or getting hit once it gets to the bottom. Like that's simple and easy. We're just throwing it, crap hanging off the shoreline, and there's a fish just like that, letting it sit there. He come up and eat it. Bluegill. That's a little bigger one right there too. Well, maybe we're getting some better quality as we move our way down through here. But the fishing style, the technique is easy and it's very productive. And when you're doing this, like we've only caught bluegill thus far on this worm setup, but I wouldn't be shocked if we got largemouth, smallmouth, maybe some shellcracker, drum, catfish possible. Like, you know, like everything will bite this. You'll get a variety doing this. And it's simple and easy. And you could come out. I'm fishing here today because it's close to the house. And I didn't want to drive a long way with the potential for bad weather this morning. But you can do this, I mean, anywhere. I've caught fish all over doing this. Lakes, rivers, creeks, ponds. Florida canals, out in the ocean, saltwater. I mean, I've used this setup all over the place, got videos to prove it, and caught tons of fish. It just works. Like, it's nice on one hand having all that fancy technology, like this new Old Town kayak I got that I've been using. I mean, we went out yesterday and literally pushed a button, well, a couple buttons on the screen there, and it just drove for us as he thumped it. Ooh, this one's colorful. This one's the biggest one of the morning so far right here. This is a nice bluegill. Check that out, buddy. Get that hook out of you. We're getting the worm back too, getting a refund on that worm. But he is hooked good. There we go, there we go. Check that one out, buddy. Nice. But I mean, that other kayak, man, you talk about fancy technology. Like, we pushed a couple buttons, and next thing I know, it's driving for us, following a contour. Wind blowing, boat wake, it don't matter. It's going to follow that line. And that's nice, but there's also something nice too about keeping a minimal, simple setup. And all those extra tools, it don't replace common sense and knowledge, man. Like, if there was a tournament and you took somebody off the street that didn't have any fishing experience or maybe minimal fishing experience, and you gave him a kayak or boat with all the fancy gadgets, live scope, motors linked to their graph, give them everything available in the fishing industry as far as technology goes. And you put that person with limited knowledge against somebody that's got a ton of knowledge and experience, and give that person that is experienced a minimal setup, maybe one fishing rod, a few lures, no electronics, no motors. You know who I'm going to bet on? I'm going to bet on the person with experience that knows what they're doing, because they're going to make more out of less than what somebody that's not skilled can do with all the fancy gadgets and electronics in the world. You got to know what you're doing to an extent. Like, you know, you can have the best baits, lures, etc. If you don't know how to present them or where to put them, you're not going to catch fish. And you can take simple, minimal setups and have productive days depending on what you're doing. Now, if you want to catch, like we referred to the muskie fishermen earlier, like if that's your goal, that's your target, well, what we're doing here ain't going to work out for that. But when we're coming out on a day like today, and I don't care what we catch, I just want to catch. These bluegill here we're getting so far, I'm fine with that. That little white bass we got on the troll on the way up through here, it was fun. Like I'm content catching whatever. So when you're fine with catching whatever, man, it opens up so many possibilities for you to fish how you want. You know, like if you want to keep things with a setup like with one fishing pole, use some live bait and worms, you can do it. You want to use one fishing pole and use some artificial lures, you can do it. You want to go out and catfish and maybe use multiple rods doing that, but you can still keep things simple. You can use a regular anchor. You don't need spot lock. You can use common sense. You don't need electronics. You can put yourself in a creek mouth or off of a point, cast your bait. You know, you can have success is what I'm getting at. The whole keeping up with the Joneses thing, I feel it sometimes. It's real. That's a real thing. This fish on our line's real too. But we get marketed to all the time. This fish, he's been marketed by the pizza companies looking like, because he's got some, look at this. My gosh, he's got some weight on him. He's been marketed to by the fast food companies apparently, because he's been eating good. Wow. Oh, easy peasy now. I got a little measuring board up under here. Let's just slide this thing out. I bet you he'll be 8 inches. He's bigger than that. I can't half see the thing there. Where does the 9-inch mark? I hate this ruler. Okay, so he's shy. There's the 9. This line would be the 9. So he's about 8 3/4 right there. Look at that, man. That's a nice bluegill. You get an 8-incher on public water, that's a good fish. I don't care where you at. Man, that's nice. And we got our worm back on it too. I brought our net just in case we got something a little bigger today. Let's fix our worm here though. I'm gonna rehook it. Let me just loop it around, put another, there we go. That fish, he was so damn good, he broke my train of thought. I don't know where we was at with it. I don't remember exactly what spill I was on as far as that goes, but I know I was just talking about the simplicity of stuff, and here this fish wants to try to jog my memory. He said he'll come over here and bite, and well, I collect my thoughts. But I mean, you know, if you, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if you want to be somebody who has all the gadgets and keep up with the Joneses, that's what I was talking about, keeping up with the Joneses. The marketing aspect of it. So you get on social media, used to be, social media, it's been more prominent, more talked about, if you will, but this has been going on for decades, folks. It used to be TV, before that it was radio, newspapers. Like, we've been marketed to since business was created. They're all the time trying to sell us something. And in order to sell us something, you have to create one of two things. You have to either create a product that is wanted by people, or you have to create a product that is needed by people. Now, what determines want or need? Well, need is pretty obvious. Like, if you need something, we need air to breathe, we need water to survive. That's a need. I need to catch this fish I'm reeling in right here. But a want is subjective. A want is going to vary from person to person. Maybe you want a blue t-shirt. Maybe you want a WWE Series 17 Superstars action figure from Walmart, and you can't get them because Walmart's distribution sucks. Yeah, I mean, that's subjective though. I may want those demolition action figures from Series 17, but you may not give a crap, and most of you don't. Wants are subjective. So for a company who is creating a product that isn't something that we need, they have to create these marketing campaigns to manipulate us into thinking that we want it. Or, if they're really good, make us believe that we need it. And marketing companies have gotten excellent at it, and especially with the invention of social media and the algorithms and being able to eavesdrop on our conversations. Like, our phones, I mean, I got my phone down here in the cup holder. It's hearing everything I'm saying today. So if we talk about, pick a product, water filtration systems, I don't know why the hell that popped into my mind. Probably planted in there by the algorithm. But me and you, we out here, as I miss that fish, we talk about water filtration systems today, right? Maybe I say something like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting a water filtration system for the house there. Guess what's going to happen next time I open up my phone now? I'm probably going to see an ad for water filtration system, and it's going to try to tug on my strings to make me think that I need it or I should want it. Fish. Ooh. He's going to pull a little bit now. I think it's a bluegill, but I think it's going to be a good one. He come right off that rock right over there. I'm going to back up a second here and make us another cast. That is pretty good. Let me back us up. Let me try to make another cast over here. You might have a friend or two willing to play. The wind has started to pick up a little bit here. It's pushing us along the shoreline a little quicker than what I want to go. But check this out. Man, that's another good one. He ain't as long as the other one we measured, but I guarantee he's over 8 inches. That's what she said. Come here, fish. Give me that hook. He's hooked good, too. He wasn't coming free. This is another one, though, that's got some belly on it, man. It's got some weight. Fish, give me that hook back, please. It's going to cause me to... He's hooked in such a way... If I get too rough with it, we're liable to bend it. And I don't want to bend that hook for sure. These little thin wire hooks, they do bend pretty easily if you're not careful. Let me get some slack here. We'll get it directly, fish. Bear with me. We'll tear up our worm in the process, looks like. There we go. Goodness gracious. You were a nice hefty fish, but the way you got hooked there made me think different about him. I got water on my face. Y'all got water on the lens? No, y'all are looking amazing, as usual. But yeah, these companies, man, they market to us, make us think we want and need stuff that we actually maybe don't want or don't need, and then our friends get it, or people, our peers, if you will, in the same hobbies that we're doing. You take fishing, for instance. Well, do I need live scope to catch fish? No. But a few years ago, I bought one. Why? Well, because all my peers in the fishing industry was getting them and talking about how this is the greatest thing ever. Did you see that? I didn't even rear back to cast, and there went that worm. Unbelievable. I swear you all sabotaged me. Them fish got them at least part of a free worm. We got about an inch of it on. That's about all we got left on the hook there. Get rid of it. But, you know, your friends get marketed to. They fall for it. They start posting, and they turn into part of the marketing machine, right? Like they become part of, and that's what they're counting on, these marketing marketing organizations that are working for these individual companies. Like, they're going to do their initial ads and sales pitches to try to get the people that are most likely to buy those products. But then the people who are the first ones to get them and that are the most likely, the easiest low-hanging fruit for those companies to get sales to, well, they're going to start posting their experiences with this product. And next thing you know, the people who was maybe on the fence that the marketing companies weren't able to fully capture, they get pushed over the edge by those initial buyers of the product. And it's a snowball, man. It starts catching momentum as it rolls downhill. And then we get tricked as consumers into thinking that we need something, or maybe we know in our minds we don't need it, but we really want it because it's going to be so much better than what we have, or whatever the case. You know what I'm trying to say. But it don't have to be that way. This new live scope that come out, it caught my eye because, for the simple fact, you don't have to have the processing unit, the black box or whatever, right? Like, you just the transducer, and it's supposed to have a little better separation or whatever, but they want to get an extra $2,000 out of us, people that have live scope. And I'm like, when I sit back on it and really think about it and investigate myself here, like, why am I feeling this? Why am I thinking? Well, it's because my social media feed's been nothing but damn live scope. I don't need that thing. Hell, I barely use the live scope I got. We don't need a live scope to catch this fish, do we? But I only use that live scope on the rare times that I specifically try to catch crappie. I'll take it out. And then when I'm netting shad, I take it out. And he just puked up everything. Did you see that? He lost his whole breakfast right there. Lord, he had ham and eggs this morning, it looks like, and he just lost it all. I'm sorry, bluegill. He's going to have to run over here to McDonald's, get him an Egg McMuffin or something. Some of you's out there watching this right now, and I just probably triggered you to buy an Egg McMuffin. That fish is like, what the hell's an Egg McMuffin? But anyway, I'm watching all those posts about the new live scope transducer, and then my mind starts going. It's like, well, I don't really use it, but boy, it sure would be nice to eliminate that black box, the processing unit, you know, that would save on weight. And then I start looking around at it a little bit more, doing research, and it's like, yeah, you lose the black box. You can eliminate that, but you're not really eliminating much weight, because this new transducer that has like the processing unit, I guess, inside the transducer itself, it's heavier. It's heavier than the old one and bigger. So, you know, you're not really, other than just getting the newest technology, you're not really gaining anything from it. It's like my cell phone down here. It's an iPhone 13, I think. I think it's 13. I don't even know what iPhone number they're on now. Now, listen, the newest, greatest iPhone that come out, I'm sure the camera's a little better. I'm sure the battery lasts a little longer. I'm sure it's faster processing as far as like loading apps and crap like that. Is it good enough, that much better, that I need to go spend however much they cost now? I don't know, $1,000 probably, I'm sure. I bet you ain't getting a new iPhone under $1,000. Not this day and time. Hell, I think that one I got was $1,000 back several years ago when I got it. Like, you know, but the marketing will make us think that we not only want it, that we need it. And I don't care what kind of hermit you are, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid the marketing. They are so good, they come at us from all angles. Yeah, social media is the worst for it. Hell, you watching this video, if you've watched to this point in the video, I guarantee you YouTube has subjected you to multiple advertisements by now. Unless you've got YouTube Premium, then you've paid for the privilege of not being subjected to the advertisements. But undoubtedly, if you're on YouTube and you got your YouTube Premium so you don't have to watch commercials, well, I bet you some of the channels you watch have probably implanted their own commercials into the videos. I mean, hell, me getting that Old Town kayak, well, one of the things I had to do for them was create a walkthrough video. They wanted a standalone video about that kayak. Well, that's a marketing pitch, right? I'm showing you the features of this new kayak and telling you what sets it apart from other kayaks in its class. And if you're somebody, if you watch my channel and enjoy my content, maybe I have some credibility with you, they are counting on my credibility with you translating into sales for them. So even though you may have, this fish's got a hook in the jaw, even though you may have YouTube Premium so that you don't have to watch commercials, you are still being subjected to stuff. This fish barely fought, but he is a nice fish. He was not a good fight. But we are getting on some better quality bluegill as we make our way along. That's another one I guarantee is over 8 inches. Beautiful fish, but he did not want to play. He wasn't going to give me the satisfaction of tugging on that line very hard. But the point is, like, you can't avoid it, man. Like, and a lot of these YouTubers too. Oh. I'm gonna back us up on this one. I don't know what this is. Is this a bluegill? It is, and I don't even think it's all, well, yeah, it is. I got to look at him there. I didn't think he was going to be all that big. He's wide. At first I thought it might be a little bass. Just a short, chunky bluegill right there. Let's see, do you think we can get another fish out of this worm? No, it's beat to hell. Let's switch out our worm. But a lot of these YouTubers now, man, you'll see, like if I watch Joe Rogan podcast, for instance, and I've got YouTube Premium, so I don't see the commercials. But ever so often throughout the podcast, he'll do his own commercial, or he'll read some sales pitch and give you a discount code or whatever to the product. Like you can't avoid it is what I'm getting at. You can't avoid it. If you get on YouTube, you're subjected to it. You get on Facebook, you're bombarded. You watch TV, tons of commercials. I don't know if newspapers even still exist, but if they do, I promise you're going to turn the page and see some advertisement. Magazines, man, when I was a kid, you want to talk about great marketing. When I was a kid, up through teenage years, I would get fishing magazines. Bassmaster, Fisherman, that Tennessee Sportsman magazine. Like, I would get all of those magazines and read the articles and stuff. You know what I didn't realize at the time? Those whole magazines were nothing but a marketing pitch. Yes, you would see the advertisements. Every second, third page there would be a partial page or even a full page ad for some bass boat or bass lure. Or this fisher, he read an ad for a worm and he said, I'm gonna get me one today. And this one just fell right in his face and he took it. But you would see an advertisement every few pages. But what I didn't realize, I know now, but I didn't realize it as a kid and teenager going up, I was being marketed to and the actual materials that they were writing. I didn't realize that companies would pay the magazine to write articles about specific lures. I didn't realize that. I was oblivious to it. Same thing when I was watching Bill Dance and Hank Parker and all them guys on the fishing TV shows when I was growing up. I didn't realize it was a 30-minute commercial for whatever lure. Like, I just thought Bill Dance was using that because, well, it works. And so I needed to go buy that specific crankbait or jig or whatever because that's what Bill Dance says works. I didn't realize they were paying him to put that specific crankbait or jig on the video. And of course, Bill Dance, you would have commercials throughout the show and he would do periodic sales pitches himself. I didn't realize how that industry worked as a kid. Now, I got educated on it as an adult. I had a conversation. This was back, it was after COVID. My channel had started to take off. I was getting a bunch of views. I had a TV representative reach out. They were starting they had their TV channel, which I'm about to be disrespectful, so I'm not going to say the TV channel's name. Oh, fish. I'm not going to be, I don't want to just trash them because they did reach out and it was very flattering. But they have their TV channel on the cable box there that nobody watches because everybody's cut the cord, everybody's streaming now, nobody watches cable anymore. But they were starting their own streaming platform with outdoor content. And of course they were going to have their normal cable shows available on that streaming thing, but they were looking for some content creators to make content specifically for that platform, to try to get people from social media and YouTube, etc., to go to them. They thought, like, you take me, for instance, if I make an announcement on YouTube that I'm going to be making content exclusively for that new streaming platform, that some of you in my audience, my loyal viewers, would go over there, and then you all would post on social media talking about this new platform, and that would get the people that was kind of maybe on the fence of trying it out to get them to go over there, and yada, 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 right? Well, naturally, you get a TV network reaching out to you. I'm going to respond to that email. I'm going to take the call. So I have a phone conversation. We set this up by email. I have a phone conversation with this guy, figuring out what they want. And they wanted, like, I think it was 6 or 8 episodes at the time. But it was going to be a huge pain in the ass because, as we got this fish here, oh, that's a red-breasted sunfish. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful fish right here. These things are so colorful. I think these are the prettiest freshwater fish we have around here. This one's not too neon color, but he does have some bright orange there. Oh, oh, I've dropped him. I've dropped him. Y'all call the law. Call the law on me. There you go. That fish claiming I assaulted him because he flopped out of my hand and I dropped him. Let's go ahead and switch our worm out too while we're at it. But anyway, this TV network guy, they wanted, it was 6 or 8 episodes I was going to be contracted for. And I was going to have to do the format just like TV. Even though this was going to be a streaming platform, the format of the episodes, of the videos, was going to have to be kind of fitted to that TV deal. And I was kind of immediately turned off by that because it's like, and I don't think that guy I was talking to really got it because, I mean, he was a company man. But I was trying to explain to him in as nice a way possible as I could without being too insulting to the guy who's offering me an opportunity here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying not to spit in this guy's face. But he's wanting me to conform to a format that no longer works. And I was trying to explain, I'm like, there's a reason these cable shows died. There's a reason why you as a cable network is having to try to create this streaming platform to get people who like YouTube fishing shows and hunting shows, etc., to come to this versus just going to YouTube. Like, the way you used to do things, it worked in the 80s. It worked in the early 90s. It doesn't work now. Not in present day time. It's over. It's done. Your industry's dead. That's why you're coming over to this. So why the hell would I give up a format that is working for me, that I'm having success with, on the biggest social media video platform of all, YouTube? Why would I give that up and change and go to a format that is proven no longer works on a platform that is brand new from a network that's dying? Like, you know, it didn't make any sense. And so I was trying to negotiate, like I was interested if I could do things my way. Like, okay, you want a 30-minute episode, I can make a 30-minute show, but I don't want to have to make a 22-minute show with periodic breaks that are made for plugging commercials into. Like, they basically, what they wanted to do was to take their cable network, keep everything the same, and just put it on a streaming platform. I'm like, this is, and to my knowledge, this platform never really took off. I never hear anything about it, if it even still exists. But anyway, I didn't obviously end up taking it. But here's the other thing about this. Now, when I was growing up, and you would see Bill Dance and Roland Martin and Hank Parker on a TV, they were on TV. You would just assume these guys they've made it, right? Like they're on TV, they're making a ton of money, right? Like the TV networks, they're paying them to produce this show. Like I thought, well, they're rich. And those guys, they are rich now. They've done a lot through their lives and whatnot, and they've made it, and good for them. But I got an education on how the TV business worked back then and how they were trying to do it again now. And again, I was trying my best not to be insulting to this guy that I was on the phone with, this TV guy. But he explained to me the way these TV shows work, like the Bill Dances and the Hank Parkers, etc. The TV network would not pay them to be on the show. In fact, it was the opposite. Bill Dance and Hank Parker would pay the network to put their show on. But how they would make their money is selling the advertisements. They were able to sell commercial space in their videos. And of course, like I mentioned there, if Excalibur wants Bill Dance to use their crankbaits, as we got another bluegill, Excalibur wants Bill Dance to use their crankbaits on video, well, guess what? They're going to pay for that, right? So Bill Dance is going to make a whole show about that crankbait. Excalibur is going to pay him. We've got something splashing out here to our left. Should we bust out the other rod here and make a cast? Let's cast over here. We got something right here to our left. I think those are probably white bass. Our lures, these crappie magnets, are bigger than the shad we saw running earlier. Sometimes that size can make a difference on being attractive, but we're going to make a few casts over here regardless. We certainly didn't do very good on the troll, only getting that one on the spoon. But there are clearly some around right here, so it's worth making a few casts to. These fish, they're just taunting us right here. Coming up, splashing beside us and not hitting it. We know they hit that worm over there. We've been catching the hell out of them on the worm. I wonder if we could, let's do this. I wonder if we'd throw this worm over here on the ultralight. Let me stand up, maybe we'll get a little better cast. Let's see. Let's just swim a couple casts over and see what happens, if anything. Yeah, worm, his tail's just a wiggling on there as we pull him through the water. I can see him bust right here in front of us now. Hell, they're over there to the right now. Let's get back to the shoreline, stick with what's working. But anyway, this guy explained to me, like, Bill Dance's people would pay the Nashville Network, TNN, whatever channel they were on at the time, it's varied through the years, they would pay for that time slot. And then they would go out and sell advertising space on their individual shows. So Bill Dance would take money from whatever jig company to make a whole episode about those jigs. Then he would sell the commercial space and then plus plug in those other ads where he would be personally representing brands, whatever. And that's how they would make their money. And that was kind of the same deal with this TV network deal on this streaming platform. Like they didn't want to pay me anything. I was going to have the privilege of being on there. I wasn't going to have to pay them to be on there. But them giving me that opportunity for free and them allowing me to go out and get my own sponsors or whatever to plug in the commercials, that's what they wanted from me. And that was supposed to be a hell of a deal. And I'm like, buddy, this is, I don't remember what year it was, 2021, 2022, whatever. It was after COVID, after my channel had kind of taken off. I was like, buddy, that's an outdated model. You might have been able to do that in the 1980s, but in this day and time, I can post on YouTube for free whatever format of video I want and they will automatically plug commercials in and cut me a check. I don't have to pay for any time slot. I don't have to go out and get my own advertisers. Now, granted, as YouTubers, that's possible these days. You see it. We talked about it. These Joe Rogans and whatnot will plug in stuff. I will occasionally do it if a good opportunity presents itself. Like, it's doable, but we don't have to do that. Like, you can just get the ad revenue from the normal commercials that YouTube plugs in. You don't have to go through all these hoops like you did with the TV days and like they want you to currently do, right? So it was just a bad deal. Like, it was a bad deal across the board. And then on top of that, well, I'll take this back, folks. It wasn't actually going to be free for me to do this, to access their platform, because before they were going to allow me on there, I was also going to have to carry a insurance policy for them, not for me, for them, that would protect them in the event that I said something or done something that got them sued because I'm on their platform. I had to carry, I was going to have to pay out of pocket for an insurance policy for them. I'm like, you've lost your damn minds. So, yeah. It didn't work out, obviously. It didn't work out. I'm not on there, and I never hear anything about it. So I don't know if it even exists today. If it does, I doubt it's getting very many clicks to it. I can't imagine. It was going to be a subscription service. Like, it was going to be, people were going to pay for like a streaming service, like a Netflix type deal, but it was only going to be outdoor content, fishing, hunting, camping, etc. And and here's another thing I was trying to explain to him. I'm like, so you are wanting to take people who watch YouTube for free and get all of their favorite content creators. I'm not his favorite content creator right now after I put that hook in him. I'm like, you want people who have access to their favorite content creators for free to come to your platform to watch the same people in a formatted show that's not like they're able to get on YouTube. It's going to be, in my opinion, worse. And you want them to pay for it. I'm like, this is set up to fail. But I mean, them people in the TV world, like, they just didn't. This guy, he didn't get it, and obviously the whole TV industry don't get it. That's why they died. The world moves fast these days, folks. You've got to be willing to change. You've got to be willing to adapt. And the TV industry never adapted. And so Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, etc., they have dominated cable TV and satellite dish networks for the last decade. Why? They adapted. They gave people what people were wanting versus the cable companies, the cable networks. You see it with the newspapers and magazines and stuff, right? Like, those industries never adapted. A magazine today, and I ain't looked at a magazine forever, but I'd be willing to bet you it looks the same now as it did in the 1980s. Don't work anymore. It's over. It's done. They won't adapt. So, like, even with, like, the newspapers, man, like, when I was a kid, my dad got the Knoxville News Sentinel delivered every day. My entire childhood, that newspaper would show up we had a little newspaper box that sat under our mailbox, and it came every day. And man, hell, when I got my first job, I was 16 years old, we still got the newspaper because I was going through the classified section looking for jobs when I was 16 there. So, that was, well, of course, I'm 44 now. I'm telling my age here. That was still a long time ago. But like, my whole childhood up through teenage years, my dad got the Knoxville News Sentinel paper. A physical paper delivered to your house every day with the news. yesterday's news, but it was the news. Well, technology, internet, etc. Like, well, this fish he's fired up. He's spunky for his size. No bigger than he's thick, but he ain't very long. The internet kind of put the newspaper business out, right? Because now I don't have to wait till the next day when the newspaper shows up. I can get information today on social media. It may not be accurate. It may be fake. But it's on there. It's available for us. And it's available for free in real time. You don't have to wait a day later for a paper to show up in your box that you have to pay for now. So the newspaper industry kind of died off. Now, I think there is still a Knoxville News Sentinel. I think there's some kind of paper for sure, because I went up to Honda the other day and got my oil changed in the truck. And they had newspapers set out there on the table in the waiting room area. So there's some kind of paper still available, but like I promise you it's not as profitable as it used to be. It can't be. Because even somebody like my dad, who's old and set in his ways, he gave up the newspaper a long time ago. Now he gets his information off the internet like everybody else. The industry, the newspaper industry, just like the TV industry, they never adapted. They just kept doing the same thing that used to work but don't work anymore, and they've run it into the ground. And, this one didn't start out feeling very good, but boy, he changed his tune when he got over here, didn't he? I'm gonna back us up. That wind keeps pushing us along down through here a little quicker than I wanna go. This is another one that's a heifer, buddy. Nice bluegill. Look at the girth, man. Look how thick that thing is. You'd get you a whole sandwich out of that fish, wouldn't you? Don't worry, fish. We're not gonna eat you. I ain't gonna do that to you. I'm just here to catch you. I want to have a good time with you and send you on your way, like the women I used to date. Don't tell my wife I said that. But you get the point I'm trying to say. Like these TV industries, newspaper industries, they just failed to adapt, and their businesses died. And when I was talking to that TV guy about their streaming platform, and he's trying to sell me on this and making it seem like he's just giving me this opportunity and whatnot, because I don't have to buy the space on their platform or whatever. Buddy, you're so indoctrinated into that failed business. Like, you can't see the forest for the trees, man. Like, the world changed, and it's going to change again. I don't know when, I don't know how, but at some point in time, YouTube, like right now, YouTube's like the most streamed TV platform, even more so than Netflix. Like, more people watch YouTube videos on TV right now than they do Netflix, cable, any other streaming platform. It's incredible to think about. And from looking at my numbers on YouTube, because YouTube tracks everything, most of my views on any given video, 75, 80% of my views come from TV viewers. You're watching at home on your TV set. That's where the bulk of my views come from. Like, that, in the world we live in today, 2026, making YouTube videos that get watched on TV, like that, if you're a content creator, that's what you need to be doing. Now, will that be the same 5 years from now? 10 years from now? Probably not. And there's probably something new that's going to come along that we can't even see coming at the present time. Nobody saw YouTube coming. Go back in time, man. When I was a kid, and of course I'm in that generation that we had our childhood before internet, and we've had our adult life after internet. So we've seen both worlds. But like, if you had tried to explain the internet and YouTube to me when I was 8 years old or 10 years old back in then, or even like, heck with talking to me as a kid, like, tried to explain it to an adult back then, they'd have looked at you cross-eyed. You would have never believed it possible. That you would have a portable phone that you could watch TV on? They would have laughed at you. Back then we had phones that had cords, rotary phones. Hell, I remember when we got our first cordless phone. What a thing that was. And then if you got on the other end of the house, you couldn't hardly hear the person you was talking to because there'd be so much static on the line. Oh, that's a bass. That's a largemouth. He's got a friend with him too. There's another one the same size as him swimming beside him. We found this little school of bass right there. A large jaw. Let's get another worm on. Let me back us up. Wind's pushing us here. Let me back us up and we'll throw another worm over there, see if we can get some more of them. But yeah, like if you go back in the 1980s and you tried to talk to somebody and be like, yeah, that phone you've got in your house right now that has a cord coming out of it, you're going to have a phone that doesn't have a cord and is mostly made of glass, and you can watch TV on it and communicate and not just talk to people on the phone, but see them through that glass on the screen. People would have laughed at you. They would have never believed it because guess what? In 1988, it would have been science fiction. But in 2020, well, I mean, before 2026, we've had this last several years, but you get my point. Like, things move quickly now. And things that we couldn't see coming, we couldn't see cell phones coming. Oh, it's another bass. We got another one over there. There's a school of them right over here. They're probably all this size, but that's okay because they're fun on this ultralight. There's another, he's about as big as a worm. Let me throw another one over there before the wind blows us around. But the point is, like, in 1988, you would have never seen cell phones coming. It was science fiction. A few years later, there it is. There's something like that coming now. We can't see it. We have no idea what's on the horizon for us. But it's coming. And when it gets here, it will disrupt the industries that we currently think are dominant today. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe it's an Amazon type retailer. I don't know, but it's coming. It's coming, folks. So you got to be willing to adapt. Whenever that happens, I'm going to change with the times, or at least try to. Or if it's, too far away in the future, maybe I'm already either dead or have give up this YouTube crap, video crap altogether. Who knows? But if I'm still doing this YouTube crap, and if I'm alive and healthy still, if something else comes along that's the newest, latest, and greatest thing that everybody's going to, platform, streaming platform, hell, I don't know, we might watch it through our sunglasses or something. Who knows? Maybe we'll have like a little projector screen in our mind. Hell, this is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound like I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. But what if the next thing isn't a screen or a device or a platform at all? What if we wear something or have that chip that everybody talks about implanted in our brain, and instead of you watching a YouTube video right now on a TV screen, you watch it in your mind? Like right now, I filmed this video today. Instead of you watching it on your phone or TV, you just click the button in your mind and watch it that way. That's science fiction talk, right? Like that's not real in today's terms. The only thing this fish knows is real is that hook is buried in his mouth and hooked in such a way that it's hard to get out. We've hooked these bluegill today in some really good methods to make sure they wasn't getting free. Give myself a little slack there. That barb is right behind the nostril there. That hook went through went through the mouth, got in a nostril, and buddy, he's hooked good. I'm gonna bend it if I ain't careful. Let me get the forceps on it here. There we go. There, we got rid of him. Did we bend our hook? That looks okay. But like, yeah, me telling you that I'm going to create this video today, and instead of watching it on TV, you would watch it in your mind. That sounds crazy today. That sounds sci-fi. But so did the cell phone. The cell phone sounded sci-fi too in 1988. What's the world going to be like instead of 2026, what's it going to be like in 2036, 2046? Maybe we won't even buy TVs anymore. Maybe we just watch things in our mind. Maybe we can see something through our eyes. Maybe there'll be a way, instead of you watching this video on a screen, like right now I'm filming this video, the camera's in my chest, right? You're seeing this kind of like a first person point of view. Maybe there's a time in the future where you're here. Maybe instead of you watching this, you are experiencing it as if you were sitting here in this kayak seat instead of me. Sounds crazy today, but maybe it's not in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. We don't know. The point is, we don't know what's coming. None of us know. But we know something's coming because something is always coming. Technology, man, it just, every time I think about just the changes that have happened in my life, going from rotary phones to cordless phones to cell phones, incredible. From I had a black and white TV as a kid. You had an antenna on the back of it. You got 3 channels, 6, 8, and 10, and none of them come in good. We go from that. We had a giant satellite dish in our yard at one point. One of them huge giant things, bigger than a satellite from outer space now. But that allowed you to get more channels. Then you get cable. Nowadays, I don't even have cable at my house now. We watch YouTube and Netflix. That's what's on my TV now. Like, huge changes. And granted, I mean, I'm a little older, but when you think about things not in terms of our age, but just in the age of humanity, like in the time frame I'm talking about, in the 44 years I've been alive, all these changes, like, it seems like a long time, but in this grand scheme of humanity, it's the blink of an eye, man. 44 years is nothing. But look at all the incredible changes we've had. So, like, I have no idea what's coming in the next 5, 10, 20 years, but I know something's coming. And it's going to completely change our lives. It's going to be something we could have never expected. It will probably change our lives for the better in some ways and for the worse in others, and all this stuff does. I mean, cell phones are great. Those early models, a lot of people seem to think they call it brain cancer. I don't know. I don't know if there's science to back that up. If there was, we'll never know for sure, but a lot of people sure thought that in the beginning. Same thing with the cell phone towers there for the longest time. It's causing problems. So, you know, there's going to be good and bad with everything. You hope the good outweighs the bad. But change is coming, folks. It's coming. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's happening. And for those of you that have been alive as long as I have, you've seen it with your own eyes. And you kids today don't know your asshole from your elbow. You don't know how good you've got it. Having damn internet, Chat GPT to answer any question you got. You know how many times a day I talk to Chat GPT now? It's become my new Google. Like, there's another change. We go from having to if we wanted to research something when I was a kid, you pulled out your Encyclopedia Britannica. Well, you fast forward to the days of the internet, and well, then you got Google. You ask Google, and Google will bring up a bunch of websites that you can go and click on and hopefully get the answers to whatever questions you have. Well, now, fast forward to today, if I got a question, I don't go to Google. I'm not going to go sift through a bunch of websites to find an answer. Hell no. I'm going to ask ChatGPT, and it's going to tell me the answer in 2 seconds or less, my exact answer that I need for whatever question I had, without me having to go sift through websites. What a change that is. But these kids today, man, these kids today, well, my cousin, she come in, my aunt here recently, her kids are 8 years old, 10 years old. These kids have no idea how good they've got it. They can get the question or the answer to any question they have on ChatGPT in seconds. They can learn any skill they want to in virtually no time by watching readily available videos on YouTube and social media. They have access to anyone in the world at their fingertips. When I was a kid, I'd send off baseball cards to the team stadium and write a letter to the players, try to get them to autograph the card for me, right? That was the only chance I had as somebody growing up in East Tennessee, didn't have access to a local baseball team or anything. Our closest team would be either Atlanta Braves or Cincinnati Reds, both 4 hours away from where I live. For me to access a baseball player as a kid, I had to write a letter, send it to the stadium, and hope that letter would be given to the player with my baseball card inside there, and hope that they would take time to read it and sign it and send it back to me, right? Nowadays, every athlete or movie star or whoever you want to contact is on social media. You can get them on Twitter. You can send them a message. You can leave a comment on, you ain't leaving a comment on my YouTube videos because there ain't no comments, but you get my point. People are accessible now. You may not still get access to them. You may not. They may not check their comments or DMs or whatever. That's their choice, and it's better for their mental health if they don't, because there ain't much going to be good in there. But you get my point though. If you are trying to contact somebody or want to reach out or whatever, there's multiple ways to do it now. Whereas back in my youth, it was you would handwrite a letter and put it in the mail, and 5 to 7 days later it would get there, and you just hope to God they read it. Now, and that's just hoping that the post office delivered it. You hope that the post office actually didn't lose it in the mail and it even got to them. Well, now, if you send somebody a DM through the Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, whatever, they may not read it. You may still not get to them, but you know that the message at least got where it was supposed to go, right? So it's just a different world we live in today, man, and it's constantly changing, and it's going to continue to change, just like our weather out here is changing. I still don't see a rain cloud in the sky, but the wind has started to really pick up, and we are moving. Right now, I'm not pedaling. I'm not moving. You can see how fast we're moving down the shoreline. I can't fish this ultralight effectively right now because I'm going to go on the other side of the shoreline where we can pedal into the wind and kind of at least hopefully set still long enough to make a cast. But even still, with the wind ramping up, it's going to blow a bow in our line. It's going to make it hard to feel bites. The weatherman, the meteorologist, I think he's got the rain, at least the timing of the rain today, wrong. But something's moving in for sure because the wind is picking up. And I do see some clouds over that direction. It don't look like storm clouds necessarily, but there's something moving in today, folks. I think the meteorologists, they can't do it like old weather lady Margie Ison, but they've they're on to something today, man. They know something's coming today. It's coming now. Yeah, we're gonna have a hard time. Oh, well, there's a fish. I didn't feel him. I went to pick up, reel up my line, and he had it. That's the thing, man. Ultralight fishing, the wind is the one thing that can just prevent you from having success. We can deal with muddy water and other lousy fishing conditions. We can deal with a lot of things, but the wind with light lures and light line is hard to work around. And this wind it was blowing a little bit when we were out there on the main, the main shoreline, but oh, there's fish. Again, I didn't feel him. But it's really ramped up in the last few minutes here. At least going this way, we can pedal into it and control our speed. He puked up his breakfast too. That fish, he lost his ham and eggs there. He can't believe I laughed at that. That fish he says, I'm rude. And this fish right here, he says he likes people named Toby too. It's a dumb name. I don't care what that guy said. That guy, he wrote a damn paragraph about it. His name wasn't even Toby. Unless his name really is Toby and he just changed his name because he was embarrassed that his parents had named him something stupid like that. I couldn't find, man, if a person was named Toby by their parents and they changed their name, I couldn't fault them. I wouldn't blame them one bit for it. I hope we ain't in a situation right now where there really is rain and storms coming and I just don't see it because of the way we're positioned. Like maybe it's over the tree line or something. There's a line of storms or something coming. Which is weird. Like you look over here at the trees, they're barely moving on this side, but over on this side they are, and it is blowing making the line hard to feel, but it must be coming in from that way and circling in here in this little pocket, because the trees on that side are really moving, but over here they're not. But I still feel it whipping around and hitting me. Like our line, you probably can't see it on the screen, but there's a huge bow in it blown out here to the right. I think we're gonna make a few more casts and I'll probably just go ahead and head to the house, I reckon. I had planned on this being a short trip today anyway because of the potential weather. But we've had a good time. I've had a good time anyway. Talking about life, catching a few fish. Got that white bass on the troll to start. Bunch of bluegill, a couple small largemouth. This is fun, man. It's a fun, productive way to fish. Whether you're trolling or casting ultralight and worm or whatever lure or bait you want to use, like this is just fun and productive, man. You catch a bunch of fish. You catch them on an ultralight setup here. It's enjoyable. No matter, even when we're catching 5-6 inch bluegill like some of them we've got, man, they'll put a bend in the rod. They'll pull your drag there a little bit. Like, man, it's fun. And I love this reel, by the way. Aaron done good sending me this reel. This is a very nice reel. It's silky smooth. I love the sound of the drag on it. It's got that, it's a louder drag than the last reel I was using. I really like it. Thank you again, Aaron. If you're watching this to this point in the video, thank you. I got some amazing channel members, y'all. Some of them have really hooked me up through the years. I'm always amazed that I got any channel members, honestly, but the ones that like me really like me. Yeah, we say we make us about 3 more casts. We'll make 3 more casts, and me and you, we're gonna go to the house. I'm gonna do some stuff around there today. I got them insulation people coming tomorrow. 2 crews coming. One's gonna take up the old insulation in my attic, which ain't much of it left. And another crew's gonna come in and do the spray foam after they're done. So I'm gonna have to be there for several hours tomorrow for sure. We got some allegedly some foul weather coming after that. So it'll probably be a few days before I get back on the water again. Well, the next trip probably be a catfish trip. I'll get out there at some point in the next 2 or 3 days and net us some more shad. And we'll go out and try to get some catfish there. All right, last cast right here. You think we're gonna catch anything on it? I don't know if we will or not. I sure would like to end on a fish. Let's make one more cast. Let me just go up here. Let me go up here around this pocket here, kind of on this little point that comes out, and see if there ain't at least a bluegill setting up here. Maybe we can force feed a worm, well, half of a worm that's left on the hook. Ain't no sense in wasting a whole new worm. Let's just go see if we can end on a positive here. What do you say? That last cast never actually is a last cast, is it, folks? One more cast always turns into a few more, it seems like. That's all right. Fishing's fun. You need to be enjoying yourself when you're on the water. I have enjoyed it today. I always enjoy ultralight fishing. It's again, productive, it's simple. It just, that and the fact you constantly get bit, man. I mean, we're not right now when we're trying to go out on a high note, but you know what I mean. Like throughout the day, we've been fishing, what, 2 hours? How many fish have we got now? In the first 30 minutes or so, whatever that we trolled, hell, we only got 1 fish in it. So, I mean, we've got a lot here, a lot of fish in this last hour and a half. So, I mean, it's a very productive technique. It's very productive. It's very easy. Can be cheap to do. You don't need a lot of gear. Now, granted, this reel right here, hell, it's the most expensive reel I've ever owned. But you don't have to have that. I mean, I used a $30 reel for a long time and caught a bunch of fish with it. This is much nicer, much better quality, for sure, but still, you don't have to have it. Like, you can keep, oh, there's our fish. There he is. I knew we'd eventually be able to feed that half a worm to something and be able to end on a high note. Oh, yes, looky here. That's definitely a high note, folks. Oh, red-breasted sunfish. Beautiful. Beautiful way to end it right there, y'all. I'm gonna gladly end on that. I love me some red-breasted sunfish. They are just they're just a beautiful fish. I love the neons, the bright orange, bright blue. It has to be hard on them to be a red-breasted sunfish because they definitely stand out down there amongst predator fish, you would think, with the bright colors and whatnot. But anyway, y'all, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. There ain't a storm or drop of rain to be seen in sight, but the wind is picking up, and we're blowing a bow in our line and whatnot. And I'd planned on just fishing 2 or 3 hours this morning anyway because of the weather, so we'll go ahead and get on out of here. But nevertheless, y'all, thanks for coming with me today. We'll do it again here soon. I'll see you then.